Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Can you believe it is already week 18 of the 2025 NFL season? The year is completely flown by. We're down to our final weekend of NFL football. We have a couple Saturday games, we have some Sunday games, and then we're off to the wild card. We are off to the playoff matchups. It flew by. There's still a lot of teams alive in the playoff race. There's some teams, they've clinched their division, they've clinched their seeding. So they might be resting some starters. As of right now, teams aren't saying who they're resting yet, so all these picks might change later this week. But we're going to be picking all of our Week 18 games the way that things sit right now, picking the winner, loser, final score. We're also going to take a look at the best bets, the money line, the spreads, the over-unders. Help me out, though. First things first, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Who do you think wins these games? What's your final score predictions? And if you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment down below, and let's jump right into it. Our very first game kicking off this coming Saturday, January 3rd. It's going to be the new year 2026, the first game of the 2026 year, 4:30 p.m. This game is going to be on ABC, the 8-8 Carolina Panthers. Really great second half last year. They picked up exactly where they left off last year. A really good season so far. 8-8, they're sitting at 500. They have the number one spot within the division right now. But unfortunately, they're facing off with number 2 here, going up against the 7-9 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've completely fallen off basically the last, 6 or 7 weeks. Started out the season, they're riding a long losing streak right now. The offense was rolling through the first 2 months. Baker Mayfield lighting things up. Since they got all their weapons back, though, something's completely fallen off with this team, and they can't score right now. Bulls defense is getting scorched left and right, but Tampa Bay is at home. Whoever wins this game is probably going to win the division. There's a lot up for grabs here. This is a must-watch game. Carolina, 38.2% chance to win. The Bucs, 61.5. Tampa, 3-point favorites, 43.5 over-under. But this is honestly one of those games, in my personal opinion, it is a 50-50. The fans are siding with Tampa Bay, but do not sleep on the Panthers. Panthers beat the Bucs earlier this season, just a couple weeks ago. What was that? 23-20, 24-20. Still a very close game. Carolina, and they have Bryce Young, 2,800 yards, 21 touchdowns, 10 picks. As long as you give him a decent ground game, he can work the play action. Dowdle closing in on 1,100 yards. McMillan's been a first-round steal. On the other side, Baker Mayfield, his first half stats, his second half stats going in completely different directions. Baker, 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks. 9 of those picks in just the last 6 or 7 games. They have White, Irving, Egbuka, Evans, Godwin. They have all of their weapons. Technically, they should be playing a lot better right now. It just has not been clicking. Carolina, 18.6 points a game, throwing for 174, running for 122, giving up 22.8 points a game. The Buccaneers, 22.8 points a game, throwing for 206, running for 113. They're giving up 24.8. Bulls' specialty is supposed to be defense. The defense has been letting them down. They definitely miss Cohen, too, because the offense has not been the same. Baker, first half, looked like an MVP candidate. Second half, not so much. But for some reason, I'm thinking, the Buccaneers, you have to win this one. You've won like one game in the last 7 or 8 weeks. Give me Tampa Bay walking with a very close win, 24-20. And our second game on Saturday is going to be another top-notch one. Whoever wins this game, both of these teams are bunched up at the top of the NFC. So they're both making the playoffs, but seeding, potentially number 1 seeding, is on the line here. Saturday, January 3rd, 8 p.m. on ABC. The 13-3 Seattle Seahawks. What a season for them. They're on the road versus the 12-4 San Francisco 49ers. These teams did play earlier this season. 49ers won that one, but when they won it, they were a completely different team. They've had injuries the entire season on offense. They're a little healthier right now on the offensive side, but so many injuries to that defense. Every single game has pretty much been a shootout for them. Brock Purdy, since he's come back from injury, he's been playing at a MVP caliber level. Christian McCaffrey, usually the guy that's always hurt, he's been the healthiest guy on this team. He's going to be close to a 1,000-yard season here. But this Seahawks team, very well-rounded team. They score points, they throw it, they run it. Great defense. You can bring defense with you on the road. Seahawks, 48.9% chance to win. The 49ers, 50.7%. Pretty much a 50-50 split down the middle with the fan vote. 49ers right now, 1-point favorites. This game is going to go back and forth. Keep your eye on this line. The over-under, 49.5. This game is basically a pick 'em. You could flip a coin. This one could go either way. This is a really fun game to watch for us unbiased fans. Seahawks, Sam Darnold, a lot of turnovers here. 49ers might get a couple turnovers, but that defense has definitely been lacking. Will they be able to force that? Darnold, 3,900 yards. They have Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, Jackson Smith, the Jigba might get to 1,800 yards this game. The other side, 49ers, they've been shuffling guys at quarterback, Mac Jones, Brock Purdy. Purdy, he's been on another level the last couple weeks. McCaffrey, 1,200 rushing yards, just shy of 900 receiving yards. He's leading the team rushing and receiving, but they've had a lot of injuries. Obviously, Kittle banged up. They need to get this team fully healthy. When they are fully healthy, this is a Super Bowl caliber squad. Can they hold the Seahawks off at home? Right now, looking at the overall matchup stats-wise, Seattle, 29.4 points a game. That's a top 4 offense. They throw for 231. They run for 120. They're only giving up 18.1 points a game. Top 5 defense in the NFL. Only 94 on the ground. That front 7 takes care of business. 49ers, 27.1 points a game. They do score a buttload of points. Throwing for 252. One of the best passing teams in the NFL. Running for 110. They have been running better in the last couple weeks. They're giving up 22.4, but they give up almost 240 through the air. I think this is going to be a very close game, but give me the Seahawks on the road. They pull off the W, 21-17. And the rest of our matchups for week 18 are all going to be on Sunday. So moving on to January 4th, 1 p.m. on Fox, the 6-10 New Orleans Saints. What the heck has happened to Saints? Tyler Show looking like a Rookie of the Year candidate. He's been going off the last couple of games, throwing for like 280 the last 3 to 4 starts. They've been winning games. They have the momentum. They're on the road in Atlanta versus the 6-9 Falcons. Falcons, obviously, with Kirk Cousins, usually doesn't perform the best primetime at night, but if you haven't noticed, this is a day game, so Kirk Cousins, he's going to be slinging it down the field. And where the Falcons go, Bijan Robinson, he's the machine that carries them 1,300 yards. If he can run the ball, that opens up the play action for Cousins. Falcons, 51.2% chance to win. Saints, 48.4%. Again, practically a split down the middle with the fan vote. Atlanta, 2.5-point favorites, 43.5 over-under. They are pretty difficult to beat at home for the Falcons. Tyler Show, 2,200 yards. Kamara's out. They have Olave. Olave closing in on 1,200 yards. He finally has some stability at the quarterback position. On the other side, Falcons, Pitts has also really come on strong the last couple weeks, finally living up to expectations as that first-round tight end for New Orleans, 17 points a game, but playing a lot better the last couple weeks. This team could not get first downs prior. Shaw takes over, completely different squad. They're throwing for 212, running for 93. Got to get those rush yards up, giving a 22.4 points a game. Atlanta, 20.5 points a game, throwing for 216, running for 125, giving at 24 points a game. The Saints, with all that momentum, can they finish the season on a long winning streak with momentum, setting them up perfectly for next year? I think they can do it. Give me New Orleans on the road, 24-17. And Fox at 1 p.m., the 3-13 Tennessee Titans. Tennessee, they have an awful overall record. Number 1 pick last season. There's a chance that they might get a number 1 pick again next year, or it is at least going to be top 3, worst case scenario. This team is bad. Cam Ward, though, playing like a franchise caliber quarterback the last couple weeks. He's been looking good, pushing the ball down the field, doing Patrick Mahomes-like things, extending plays with his legs. The biggest issue is his offensive line is complete garbage. Nobody can catch the ball. They all have butterfingers, but he's shown leadership. If they can get him a true number 1 wide receiver, they could potentially have a bright future because they have the quarterback position pretty much solidified. Just get him an offensive line too to keep him from getting hurt. They'll be on the road versus the 12-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. They continue to roll. The offense is looking good. Trevor Lawrence, a lot of turnovers, but a lot more decisive this season. Got to give Cohen a lot of credit. Completely flipped the script on this team, and they have a really good defense. Top 10 overall defense, but number 1 in stopping the run. That's not really going to matter here because Tennessee, they don't run the ball anyways. Titans, they're a 22.1% chance to win. The Jags, 77.7%. The Jags are in a pretty interesting position. They can clinch the division with the win, but they still have a shot for an extremely high seed for the playoffs. 11.5-point favorites. That's a massive spread for an NFL game. 47.5 over-under. Ward, 15 touchdowns, only 7 picks, 3,200 yards. Yeah, Pollard over 1,000 yards rushing. No one in the receiver room. Someone has to step up permanently going forward. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, 3,800 yards. He's also running the ball a lot this season. That's been a game changer. Travis Etienne, career season at the running back position, 1,100 rushing yards. Very deep receiver room. Washington, Strange, Jacoby Myers, Brian Thomas, so many weapons on this team. The wide receiver room used to be a weakness. That is not the case right now. Titans, 16.7 points a game, throwing for 165, running for 94, giving up 26.9 points a game. Jacksonville, 27.1 points a game, throwing for 220, running for 118, giving up 20.6 points a game, but it's the rush defense, only giving up 86.1 on the ground. The defense is too good. They have something to play for here. They win this one, 28-17. And also on Fox at 1 p.m., there is no love lost between these two teams. The 7-8-1 Dallas Cowboys, who have a chance to get to 500 to finish the regular season, one of the best overall offenses in the NFL. They can throw it, they can run it, but their defense, it's really bad. They're bottom 3 overall. Some people love the Cowboys defense. I don't understand it. They give up a boatload of points no matter who they're playing, but they can score with anyone in the country. They're on the road versus the 3-13 New York Giants. Can they finish this season on a high note? A lot of injuries. They're down Scadaboo, they're down Neighbors, but they still have Jackson Dart, who's put together a really good rookie season. They have Tracy Jr., Robinson, looking really good so far. Just think of where this team would be if they never had all those injuries to their offense. Giants, 51.5% chance to win. The Cowboys, 48.1%. Again, practically a 50-50 split down the middle. Cowboys, 5.5-point favorites, 52.5 full runner. Dak Prescott, 4,500 yards so far this season, 30 touchdowns, 10 picks. Williams is banged up. He is questionable for this game, but he's what separates this team from last year's team. They couldn't run the ball last year. They can definitely run it this season. They have Pickens. They have CeeDee Lamb. When that receiver core is fully healthy, that's one of the best, if not the best 1-2 combo in the country. Looking at the overall team stats, Cowboys 28.4 points a game, top 5 offense. Throwing for 274, pretty sure that's the number 1 passing team in the NFL. Running for 125, giving up 29.8 points a game, 254 through the air. No matter who they're playing, they're going to be able to get first downs. They're going to be able to move the ball. New York, 21.7 points a game, throwing for 203, running for 127, giving up 26.4 points a game. Daboll has been fired, but at least there's some bright spots here with this team. The offense is not bad. Defense needs some work, and then offense needs to get healthy. They potentially have a brighter future going forward, but they got to figure out the head coaching position. Give me the Give me the Cowboys winning this one in a potential shootout, 33-27. And CBS at 1 p.m., the 8-8 Indianapolis Colts. Wasn't this team like 7-1, 8-1 just about 7-8 weeks ago? Things completely fell off after Daniel Jones went down. This was a surprise team this season. They were throwing it, running it. Daniel Jones looked like a completely different quarterback. Defense was playing good. But since he went out, this team has fallen off. They are struggling to consistently move the ball, which obviously puts a lot of pressure on that defense. They do have Phillip Rivers. They basically resurrected Phillip Rivers' career, brought him out of retirement. The guy's like 59 years old. He's out the truck. And just please, for the love of God, don't get hurt this game. You only have 1 game left. They're on the road versus the 11-5 Houston Texans, who have already clinched a playoff spot. Houston, 69.5% chance to win. The Colts, 30.2. The Texans, 10.5-point favorites. Another massive NFL spread. The over-under, 40.5. One thing I feel pretty bad about, Jonathan Taylor was having a great season up till Daniel Jones went down, because now they're stacking the box and putting 7-8 bodies in there. He still has 1,600 yards, 18 rushing touchdowns. This is a very good team. But when the offense struggles, the defense has to make up for it. On the other side, the Texans starting to play really consistent on the offensive side. Stroud starting to throw the ball well. They have Marks. Nico Collins, a true wide receiver number 1. The Colts come in here 27.3 points a game, throwing for 225, running for 124, giving up 23.4 points a game. The Texans, 22.9 points a game, throwing for 219, running for 107, giving up 16.6 points a game. Great secondary, great front 7. The number 1 overall defense in the NFL. But can the Colts steal one to end the season? I don't think so. Give me Houston win this one, 24-16. And 1 p.m. also on CBS, the 4-12 Cleveland Browns. The Browns, maybe they have the quarterback situation figured out with Shedeur Sanders. Maybe they don't. The Browns have been shuffling quarterbacks for like the last 2 decades. One thing they have going for them is Myles Garrett. He's so close to breaking the sacks record for one single season. They're going up against the 6-10 Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals' offensive line is pretty bad. So Myles Garrett, he's probably going to break the record this game, but that doesn't mean the Browns are going to win. Right now, the Bengals 79.9% chance to win this one. The Browns 20% chance. No one's really giving Cleveland a shot to win. Maybe we're getting set up for the upset. Cincinnati 7.5-point favorites, 44.5 full runner. Shedeur Sanders 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 picks. Winston Junkins, he's obviously out here. Fannin probably going to be out here. They're down to just a couple weapons. Shedeur Sanders, he's going to have his work cut out for him. But one thing I will say, this Bengals defense, it is the worst in the NFL. So if he's able to throw the ball, would not be surprising at all. Everybody can score on Cincinnati. They do have Joe Burrow. They have Brown. They have Chase. They have Higgins. They have a buttload of weapons. They can score points. But this Browns front 7, they're going to be coming after them. They want that record. The Browns 16.2 points a game, throwing for 170, running for 96, giving up 22.6 points a game, only 163.8 through the air. Solid overall secondary. The Bengals 24.8 points a game, throwing for 236, running for 90.6, giving up 29.5 points a game. No matter who they face, they get torched left and right. They give up 243.3 through the air, 148.9 on the ground. You can throw on them, you can run on them. Cleveland's going to want to keep it on the ground, control the play action, control the pace of the game. But Joe Burrow, they can still shoot it out with anyone. That line is bad. Hopefully Burrow doesn't get hurt again by getting sacked. Browns might get the record, but the Bengals get the win. They win it 24-17. 1 p.m. also on CBS, the 9-6-1 Green Bay Packers. One thing the Packers have going for them, they've technically already clinched the playoff spot, so they're in. Probably not going to see a lot of start of this game. Malik Willis, what a great game he had last week. He showed he can move the ball with this offense. He could potentially get into a shootout here. They're going up against the 8-8 Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, their offense isn't necessarily great. Obviously, they've had 3 different guys playing quarterback this season, but they do have Justin Jefferson, a legit wide receiver number 1. They just need someone who can consistently get this guy the ball in space. But the Vikings have a solid overall defense, and they're at home. They want to win these games. These two teams, they don't like one another. There's a lot to play here for the Vikings. They want their pride. They can get over 500. Green Bay, they've already punched their ticket. Minnesota, 24.4% chance to win this game. No one's giving them a chance. Green Bay, 75.4, but Vegas is going the other way. Vikings, 6.5-point favorites, 36.5 over-under. Looking at the team stats, the Packers, 24.3 points a game, throwing for 227, running for 119, give it 21.4 points a game. But where's this team been the last couple weeks? Started out the season looking like a deep playoff caliber squad, and they've been all over the place, and they're riding a 3-game winning streak. They're not coming into this game with really any momentum. Minnesota, they've been up and down this year, but they're riding a 4-game winning streak. They slowly clawed their way all the way back to 500. Vikings are coming in here 20.5 points a game, throwing for 163, running for 107, but it's the defense the last couple weeks, only giving up 106.5 on the ground. If Green Bay wins it, it's going to be due to a consistent, reliable run game. But I'm going to go into home team in a lower scoring game. Vikings win it 20-14. On Fox at 4:25 p.m., the 3-13 Arizona Cardinals. A lot of injuries to this offense so far through the year. Jacoby Brissett overall not having a bad season. They had McBride Bear, probably the best tight end this season. What they don't have going for them, I don't know what happened to their defense. They don't have a great defense, but the last couple weeks, they completely went off the rails. They're getting torched left and right. They're on the road versus, in my personal opinion, the most complete team in the NFL, the 11-4 LA Rams. The Rams can throw, they can run, good secondary, good front seven. They play offense, they play defense. They have a 80.3% chance to win this one. The Cardinals only a 19.6. The Rams are 9.5-point favorites, 47.5 over-under. Jacoby Brissett filling in for Kyler Murray. 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns, 7 picks. Overall, not bad numbers. McBride might get 1,200 yards here, 11 receiving touchdowns. On the other side, the Rams are loaded at really every single position. Stafford, the most efficient season of his career, over 40 touchdowns, only 5 picks. Williams over 1,100 yards. Nakua 1,600 yards. They have weapons left and right, and they play really good defense. The final game of the regular season, they're going to the playoffs. The only question is, what's their seeding going to be? Cardinals, 20.9 points a game, throwing for 232, running for 94 yards a game, giving up 28.2, a lot of that in the last couple weeks. LA, 30.5 points a game. This might be the most complete offense in the NFL, throwing for 270.5. That's number 2 in the NFL, running for 126.3. Really good passing offense, really good rushing offense. They have the veteran experienced quarterback. They got the young guys. They got a mix of everything. They're giving up 19.9 points a game. Number 2 offense, and they have a top 10 defense. The Rams here, they are rolling. The only thing is if they rest all their starters, even if they do, they might still walk away with the win. Give me LA winning this one 28-17. Fox at 4:25 p.m., the 8-8 Detroit Lions. If we were looking at this game just a couple weeks ago, this would have been one of the top matchup of the season. But the Lions, they've hit a rough snag the last couple weeks. They're riding a long losing streak. They have no momentum. They've lost 4 of their last 5, fell out of playoff contention. They're not making the playoffs. Some people had this team not just making the playoffs this year, competing, sometimes even winning the Super Bowl. They're not even going to make it. Massive disappointing season for Detroit. So many injuries. Campbell had to replace coordinators. Things just didn't click right. The offense could score points, but in crunch time when they had to, when you got pressure on Goff, the offense kind of sputtered out, and their defense not anywhere near where they were 2 seasons ago. They're on the road versus the 11-5 Chicago Bears. What a game that was last week. Bears finally lost the game. We did pick them to lose, so no surprises there. There's no doubt this has been one of the best teams of the second half of the season. Caleb Williams, what he's done in Johnson's offense, he looks like a completely different player. They can run, they can throw, they can play second half. In the fourth quarter, they are not afraid to go blow for blow with anyone. Detroit, 54.6% chance to win. The Bears, 45.1. Chicago, 2.5-point favorites, 49.5 over-under for the Lions. This is a stacked offensive roster. St. Brown, obviously, he's hurt, but even with that, when they're fully healthy, think Goff, 4,300 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown, Laporta. This was an offense that was number 1 last season. They've been top 3 the entire year here, but when they need to score, they haven't been able to score, and their defense has just given up way too many points. Chicago, Caleb Williams, 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 picks. He can also scramble, extend plays with his legs. You have Swift over 1,000 yards. You have Moore. When Moore is on, he's a legit wide receiver number 1. You have Odunze. Team stats, the Lions, 28.9 points a game, throwing for 250, running for 120, but they're giving up 24.8 points a game. That's not going to cut it. Chicago, 26.6 points a game, throwing for 226, running for 149. This is a top 3 rushing team. When you can run the ball, they're going to run it down the Lions' throat. You control time of possession, and Caleb Williams love that deep play action pass. They're giving up 24.8. Both these teams, this is probably going to be a high-scoring game. Would not surprise me at all if this goes down to the fourth quarter. Most Bears games do. If it goes down to the final drive, the final possession. But I'm going to go with the Bears. Give me Chicago winning this one, 31-27. 4:25 p.m. on Fox. The 7-9 Miami Dolphins. This team started out the season, 1-6, 1-7. They've been on a tear the last couple weeks. They've actually been able to rally around McDaniels. He's probably coming back next season. Tua's out. Never should have gave him that massive contract extension. Quinn Ewers showed some flair last week. Maybe he's the guy going forward. He's definitely going to be tested here because he's going up against one of the best overall teams in the NFL. The 13-3 New England Patriots. It's in Foxborough. Very difficult place for road teams to play. This isn't a Bill Belichick, Tom Brady team, but it's a Vrabel, Drake May team, and they're really good. New England, 79.9% chance to win. The Dolphins, 20% chance to win. The Patriots, 10-point favorites, 45.5 over under. That's a massive spread. Patriots have a lot to play for. If they win this game, if a couple things go their way, they could potentially be the number 1 seed in the AFC. That would be a massive advantage for them. They're not going to find that out till they're playing this game, so there's zero reason for them to be resting their starters here. They better not rest their starters. The Dolphins, obviously, Achin, almost 1,400 rushing yards. He's come on strong second half. Waddle might get to 1,000 yards here. On the other side, Drake May, great season so far. 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns. Henderson, Diggs, the young guys, the veterans. The Dolphins, 21.1 points a game, throwing for 184, running for 124. Very good rushing team, giving up 24.1 points a game. But they're showing a lot of heart and grit second half. Patriots are good, though. 28.3 points a game, throwing for 253. One of the best passing teams, running for 122. Solid run game, giving up 19.4 points a game. Such a rounded team. Some people said their schedule's been so easy, but guys, it doesn't matter. They are 13-3 with the possibility of finishing the year 14-3. That's a great season. I don't care what you say. Give me New England winning this one. They got to keep those starters in. They win it 28-21. CBS, 4:25 p.m., the 3-13 New York Jets. The Jets, let's just call things like they are. They don't have anything going their way. Their defense, they have a defensive-minded coach, and their defense has zero interceptions so far this season. They don't play good offense. They don't play good defense. They're on the road versus the 11-5 Buffalo Bills. The Bills, they lost last week. No surprises. We did pick them to lose, but this is the reigning MVP award winner. They have to get this offense right going into the playoffs. They will make the playoffs, but they want their best version of themselves. Patrick Mahomes, all the great quarterbacks are out of the playoffs. This is their year. If it's not this year, then when is it going to be? Buffalo, 90.7% chance to win. Extremely lopsided. The Jets, 9.2. Buffalo better not lose this one. 8.5-point favorites, 39.5 over under. And the other side for the Jets, all of their starters are out on the offensive side. The Bills, they got to bring everything here. New York, 18.3 points a game, throwing for 146, the worst passing team in the NFL, running for 127, giving up 29.3 points a game. The Bills, 27.9 points a game, throwing for 214, running for 156.4. That's number 1 in the NFL. They have to dominate the line of scrimmage here. They got to move the ball through the air. They got to move the ball on the ground. They need momentum. going into the playoffs. They don't want to limp in after that pathetic showing last week, and they're giving up 22.3 points a game. They get scorched on the ground. They give up 140 on the ground. Pretty sure that's dead last in the NFL. Well, no, it's not dead last. It's bottom 5, though. But that secondary, so good, probably the best secondary, only giving up 163.4 through the air. Can they force turnovers? But the Jets don't throw it anyways. The Bills, they have to win this one to have any shot for the Super Bowl. Not to make the playoffs, to have a shot to actually win a playoff game. I have them winning it. They win it handedly, 28-13. 4:25 p.m. on CBS, the 11-5 LA Chargers might be the worst offensive line in the country, and still Harbaugh, he's got this team rolling. They love vertically pushing the ball down the field. They're getting healthier slowly. The defense playing a little better. That offensive line has to hold up. They have a tall task here going up against the 13-3 Denver Broncos, who is in position to potentially win the conference. If they get a win here, it sets up for a perfect game here. Chargers want this win. Broncos want this win. They're both going for the playoffs, but they're fighting for seeding, for positioning. Denver, 54% chance to win. LA, 45.6. The Broncos, 7.5-point favorites. 39.5 over under Herbert. 3,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, 13 picks. The running back situation, when they got Hampton back there, they just got to get a little healthier. They got Ladd McConkey. They don't have a bad wide receiver core. I just want to see Ladd McConkey get the ball just a little bit more. Denver, Bo Nix, the Sean Payton system. Dink and dunk, accurate, intermittent passing. 3,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks. If you leave it there, he will also take off and scramble. And they have Sutton. Looking at the overall team stats, Chargers are coming in 22.8 points a game, throwing for 219, running for 122, giving up 20.1 points per game. The defense has been playing better for about the last 5 or 6 weeks. Denver, 23.9 points a game, throwing for 230, running for 119, only giving up 19.3 points a game. Look at this rush defense, top 2. 89.7 yards given up. If they can take the ground game away, it's going to put pressure on Herbert. I don't trust that offensive line. I don't trust him being forced to sit back there and pick Denver apart. They have a good secondary. They have a good pass rush. Give me Denver at home in this one, 23-17. 4:25 p.m. on CBS, the 4-12 Washington Commanders versus the 11-5 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are starting to get hot right now, but how about that defense? Really playing top-notch playoff caliber the last couple weeks, and their offense are starting to finally run the ball better. The number 1 rushing team last season, they've been struggling to run. Saquon Barkley really slow getting going this year, but now they're running really good. Watch out for this team in the playoffs, and they are the defending Super Bowl champs. Philly, 73.6% chance to win. Commanders, 26.2. We were robbed of a really good game. This could have been Daniels versus Hurts, but obviously Daniel getting banged up a long time ago. Pretty much he's been out the entire season. You're going to get Marcus Mariota also banged up. Commanders coming in here limping. So many injuries to the offense, and the Eagles are starting to get healthy. Hurts, Barkley, Brown, Smith, loaded offensive roster. If they can run the ball, Hurts loves the deep play action. He's not the best deep passer accuracy-wise, but when they're running, he does take the passing game to a whole nother level. Commanders, 20.8 points a game, throwing for 187, running for 134, giving up 27.1 points a game. The Eagles, 22.6 points a game, throwing for 192, running for 119, giving up 18.8. That's a top 7 defense. They're starting to get hot. Washington limping in here on the offensive side. The Eagles, they want to go back-to-back. Give me Philly winning this one, 26-14. Also, CBS at 4:25 p.m., the 6-10 Kansas City Chiefs, the runner-ups to the Super Bowl last season. The versions of these teams that we're going to see on the field Sunday is not the way these rosters started Sunday. The Chiefs probably going to be resting the majority, if not all of their starters here. They have absolutely nothing to play for. They would love to beat the 2-14 Raiders. Raiders right now sitting to where, if they lose this game, pretty sure they have the number 1 pick next year. They want to win this game. Pete Carroll, he's in a tough spot, probably coaching for his job because he's done a pretty bad coaching job this season. Chip Kelly has been fired. They don't play offense. They don't play defense. They don't do anything. So many turnovers with this team. Las Vegas, 39% chance to win. KC, 60.6. The Chiefs, 5.5-point favorites, 36.5 over-under. This is going to be a pretty painful game to watch because both these teams are going to struggle to move the ball. Patrick Mahomes is out. Minshew's out. KC, put whoever you want back there at the quarterback position. It's going to be probably some pretty sloppy to watch football. The Chiefs, 21.9 points a game, throwing for 222, running for 108, giving up 19.6 points a game. Top 10 overall defense, but how many of their starters are actually going to be on the field for this game? They don't have anything to play for right now. Las Vegas, 14.2 points a game, the worst offense in the NFL, throwing for 173, running for 74.9. That's dead last, giving up 26.3 points a game. But KC's not really in a position to take advantage of that defense. This is a tough game here because both these teams, it's just not the year for them. KC, had they had Patrick Mahomes, they win this one easily. I'm going to go out on a ledge. It's okay to call me crazy. We will get a crazy upset this week. Give me Las Vegas winning this one 17-14. And finally, our final regular season game of the 2025 season. This is crazy stuff. 8:20 p.m. NBC, the 8-8 Baltimore Ravens. They finally got a win last week. Harbaugh under a lot of pressure. They didn't have Lamar Jackson. They've gotten pretty used to that this season. But how about this offense? How about Derrick Henry completely stepping up, having a career game? What do you have? 4 rushing touchdowns, over 200 rushing yards. Great stuff. If they can ground and pound here, they're going up against the 9-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. This is not your typical Mike Tomlin defense. They can give up yards on the ground. If Baltimore owns the line of scrimmage, if they run on them, it's going to be a very long, painful day for for Pittsburgh. Because don't forget, they don't even have DK Metcalf. Who was Aaron Rodgers supposed to give the ball to? He's actually had a really good season so far. Don't knock his year. He's playing really good. He has no weapons. His only weapon, DK Metcalf, he's suspended for this game. Boneheaded decision. Puts Pittsburgh in a tough spot. They have to win this one. They're still in hunt for the playoffs. There's a lot up for grabs here. Pittsburgh, 42% chance to win. Baltimore, 57.6. The Ravens, 3.5-point favorites. 41.5 over-under. Derrick Henry, 1,500 rushing yards, 16 rushing touchdowns. Flowers, Andrews, likely still a lot of weapons on this team, even without Lamar Jackson. On the other side, Pittsburgh, Rodgers is basically by himself. It's him, it's Warren, it's Gainwell. And outside of that, they are going to struggle to move the ball. They've been struggling to have a consistent offense the entire year. Ravens, 25 points a game, throwing for 173, running for 158. That's number 2 in the NFL, giving up 23.3 points a game. The Steelers, 23.2 points a game, throwing for 197, running for 104, giving up 22.7 points a game. With the experienced veteran Rodgers, he can get them the win here. If they can run it enough to control time of possession and he gets the final possession, he will take them down the field and score. That's what he does. One of the best final drive quarterbacks to ever play the game. But if Baltimore can run, it's not even going to get to that. Give me Baltimore winning this game 27-24. So, guys, that concludes our Week 18 2025 NFL picks and predictions. It's crazy stuff. The season flew by. We're down to our final weekend. It's been a good year, though. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop your comment below. Who do you think wins these games? What's your final score predictions? Drop them in the comment section. I will respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment below. And, of course, thank you guys for watching.